Hi there, welcome to Candid Conversations. Today we are talking about how we met. So sit back, relax, and listen in.
All right. Okay, I think I'll take the first. I'll take the first part of the whole conversation. We met in 2019, precisely I think November. So, funnily, I'm a part of the choir in the church. And that particular Saturday, I was supposed to, because I play the keyboard, the drums, and the bass guitar. So apparently the drummer was not around to play for a particular wedding on Saturday, and I was just leaving work that Saturday. I was supposed to come, stand in for the drummer and all that. So I had to rush out of work early to come, stand in for the drummer. So while I got to church, the service was just closing. Then they were decorating for the wedding, and I was okay. While they were decorating for the wedding, I was like, hey, let me go to the church restaurant to get something to eat. So I sat down. I think I was taking a glass of juice and some food items, which I know she will mention in her story. So then our mom walked in and kind of introduced me to her, like, this is my daughter actually. And also, cool. So then the conversation, started from there. Since our mom introduced me to her, like, it was just random, like, have you met my daughter? Oh, this is my daughter. Then I was like, oh, fine. Then I gave her a space to sit beside me, and as I say, the rest is history. So I'll hand over to you.
My version of the story is a longer one. In 2019, I was praying to God and seeking Him about the kind of spouse I wanted, and I was praying for marriage. And one of the times, I think it was March, I was in church, so it was his first time in church, so he was testifying, and I'm like, who's that guy testifying?
He's an awesome guy.
And his testimony was so random. And so I just felt the Holy Spirit tell me, that's your husband. And for me, he didn't look like the type of husband I
was supposed to look like.
I was praying for. And so I just let it pass. So a couple of months after that, again, I come to church and I see him at church, and the same voice came to me that would be my husband. But then I was wondering, like, how will it be? When will it happen? I don't know this person. I don't know this guy. And so that Sunday after church, was it that Sunday?
It was one of those Sundays though.
Yes. No, the third time I saw him, I told God, if indeed this is a person for me, let him sit next to me. So it so happened that Sunday there was only one seat left.
It was Christian
and
education.
it was the one, it was the seat next to me. And so that was the first sign that I had, but it wasn't conclusive, because I was like, maybe this is just my carnality speaking. So we didn't talk. So after the service, I decided to wait outside the door so I can greet him, and get to know who this neighbor that I had in church was. And he gave me a cold shoulder, like he just walked away. I've never felt
I think I remember she said, I just looked at her and I just walked away.
Yeah, and I felt like maybe this guy is feeling him, so maybe he thinks I have a crush on him or anything. Like, really, this is just a high. And so he showed me some kind of attitude. So from that time, I remember the Holy Spirit telling me, not your timing, but my timing. And so I let go. I moved on with my life, moved on with other things. I didn't forget all about him. And months went by until November. This particular November, my mom asked me to escort her to church because she was in the choir, and they were going to sing for a particular wedding. So I was waiting for her. And so I went to the church canteen, and that's how we met.
Yeah.
So that was the first time we had a conversation going, and at that time we spoke as if we had known each other for a while.
There was a connection.
Yeah, there was that connection. And again, deep down in my heart, I'm like, I don't want to go with my own thoughts. If this person is meant for me, I hope that after this conversation he asks for my number, but I will not ask for his. And that's what just happened. He asked for my number.
Yeah, and then I think I reached out later that night,
Yeah.
and I think going to the part of the conviction to get married.
Yeah. How did you
So
know that it was
so
time?
apparently we talked the first night. So for me, what really stood out was that
Mm.
every conversation we had almost everything in common.
Yeah.
My future holiday destination was the same as yours. I remember we would chat late into the night. I had to go to work the next morning. Everything just was flowing seamlessly.
Yeah.
There was no trying to create an
No
impression or
pretense.
trying
Yeah.
to talk big to make yourself look like we just connected. And
Yeah, and
I've,
in that
yeah,
season, I was not searching anymore. Like, I wasn't thinking about a relationship. So, and I think that's the same place he was at
yeah,
that
yeah.
point. He
I wasn't
wasn't
even looking.
looking
Marriage
into a
was far from
relationship.
the thing.
I also wasn't. I was at this point where I just wanted to enjoy my singleness. So, I didn't mind having a number of friends that are also single. So, we just enjoy our singleness.
Yeah.
So,
So
it made it a lot
I think
easier for
she
us.
was on a short break from work then.
Yeah.
So we had quite a good time the December period. We went, I think there was a buffet. We went for a Christmas buffet, one of the nice, restaurants here. Everything, I think for me, worked seamlessly.
Yeah.
So at that point, I just said to myself, you know what? If it is this good at this stage, why not, take it up to the next level? But I took a fast one on her. So there's this protocol, like we all know, most of us know this protocol. When you see a lady in church, talk to your pastor first, don't talk to her. So in the
Yeah.
church that we were
After a
worshiping
week,
together.
we
So
had been
after,
talking for a week.
then the next thing was that I was so sure me, I didn't even tell her anything. I just went straight to the pastor. I think I found someone I want to get married to. The man
Yeah.
was like, who is the person? Then I mentioned her, then mentioned her mom's name. Okay, the man said, okay, no problem. I will talk to the. No, he didn't even tell me I was going to talk to your mom.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I realized that after service, one of the protocol persons who came to call her, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, hope it's not what I discussed with the pastor that was going to share with her mom. So for me, I was the one who got the first conviction and I didn't even tell her anything. I
Yeah.
just went straight to the pastor. I'm like, I think I found somebody I
And
wanted
this
to
was
get
like
married
1
to.
week later. And then he went and saw my mom and asked her for
Yeah,
permission.
that was a hot
And
seat. Like when I met her, she brought a book and a diary. When she removed her barrel and she was going to be writing, I'm like, today I'm in an interview. I like, but thank God, I think one of the things that stood out for me that later really helped in the marriage process, which we're going to talk about sometime, is I was very honest with her.
yeah.
I told her about everything, my past, when I got born again, what had happened before. And, I realized that it's good to start with a lot of honesty in the
Yeah.
beginning. Don't try to create an impression or try to upgrade your status to what you are not.
Yeah.
Because the truth is that once you start off that way, you have to keep up doing that. And you realize on the long run, it's too costly
Yeah.
on every sense of it to keep up a fake impression you have. So I was very down to it with her. I spoke to her, I told her
Yeah.
everything.
And I
And all.
think, yeah, sorry. I think also the best time to, I think in my opinion, the best time to get married or to think about a serious relationship is when you're not thinking about it. When you're in that season where you're just discovering yourself, enjoying your singlehood, enjoying that season, is the best time for you to make that decision to get married
Your judgment
because
is not clouded.
yes, your judgment is not clouded. You're not desperate. You're making decisions from a point of knowledge. You're making decisions
Objectivity.
from an objective point of view as opposed to a biased point of view because you just want to get married. You feel like time is going. So I think just quit over searching.
I
Just
think, yeah,
enjoy the
now that you're
moment.
talking about it, I think that really worked for us
Yeah.
because we were both at the point where we're not like, meet me today. It was a conviction that didn't come out
Yeah.
of duress.
Yeah.
It didn't come out of her pressurizing me, let's go and meet the pastor. I even went
Let's get
without telling her.
married. I
She
want
was
to
not
get
even
married.
aware. She was just shocked. Did you go and meet the pastor? Yeah, I said I did it, but she didn't even know and all that.
Yeah.
So I think the decision didn't come out of a lot of pressure, which now that she's talking about it, I think is a very good thing to look out for because when you are actually desperate, everybody looks like it.
Yeah.
That's the honest truth. Every person that comes your way, I think is the guy. Oh, this one comes, it goes. So you are not even sure. Even by the time you have picked and picked and picked and picked. It seems as if you have a problem, but you are the one who is putting yourself under quite a lot of
Under
pressure.
pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that he met my mom, asked her for permission. This was like 7 days later, to be precise.
Yeah.
So we meet later that day. He asked to meet me later that day, and it's like, we're getting married. I've already told the pastor about it. I've already told your mother about it, and she's okay with it. And so we are getting married, and that was our proposal.
Yeah. So I think for most it was from, did we even date? I think from dating to courtship, or from knowing each other to courtship.
Yeah,
Because
from
now the church
meeting to
already
courtship,
knew.
because we probably didn't date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
thanks to now talking about what now happened after then. So that was November, towards December 2019, then January,
when I went back to
she went
work,
back
I
to
wasn't
work.
working in the country,
Yeah.
and then he was working in the country.
Yeah.
So we started a long distance type of
Then
relationship.
COVID happened
Then
in
COVID
March.
happened, and I got locked up wherever I
It
was.
was one of the most.
So how is it for you
It was.
in terms of the relationship?
Yeah, because one of the things that was striking about COVID-19, because she was away from March to October,
Yeah.
because the country from January to October, because the country she was in was on lockdown. Uganda was also on lockdown, so the president kept addressing us like, okay, as if he's going to open the airports, funnily she was away for like 10 months. And I think one of the things that we did that made our relationship going was communication. For me, the communication, we had a particular time every night. We will always be on video call.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of money on internet.
Yeah.
So because we're not just doing voice call, we're always on video call on WhatsApp every night. So I was engaged in all our itinerary. We were keeping ourselves really engaged during COVID. She became a super cook because of boredom. I will go through all the cooking sections when she's eating. When the raccoons are running behind the house, she will show me, that's a raccoon. And so I think communication was one of the things that was very helpful during the COVID
But also
time.
being real, not pretending to be what we are not, helped us build a friendship. But it was kind of a blessing in disguise that we had that conversation.
To date, I think that was not really dated.
Because it gave us enough time to get to know each other.
Yeah.
Had it not happened, we probably would have gotten married like 3 months later.
And now start figuring it out.
And start figuring it out in marriage. But then COVID season helped us to get to know each other a lot more. And keep justifying this reason we are getting married.
Yeah.
It was definitely a tough one because we were sort of already engaged and now getting to know each other. So we did things in reverse.
Yeah.
So it was helpful for us to have the time to get to know each other.
So by the time she came back in October, thank God that I had met her mom, but I had not met her dad, and all that. So I was not like a total stranger to her mom. So I think I was the one who picked you from the airport. I don't remember. I think, but we just kickstarted from where we stopped from before when she left in January, and everything went so seamlessly. So I think for me, it's just when something is meant to be, there's a way it will happen smoothly. You don't have to apply too much pressure. When you're applying too much pressure about, convincing someone to get married to you, you should check it. Because it means that something might not be right. You're the one trying to fix it yourself and try to put things in place.
Yeah, but also I think when it's time or when someone is the one, you will just know. You'll not have those other doubts in your mind. Normally, when you are with someone and they are just not the one, there will always be that little doubt you have at the back. Although many of us ignore it, and then when we get married, we start to overly emphasize those red flags, but we had already seen them. When someone is the one, somehow things just fall into place. It doesn't mean that you'll not have misunderstandings and struggles. We've had many of those, but then you're still sure that this is the person that you are meant to be with.
I think most importantly, going back to even how we met, our first date was in a car. Like, we didn't have to go to a proper restaurant. We just went to somewhere around, I think Entebbe, I remember. Like, not like our first date. Like, we're so cool with each other that we could eat back somewhere get food in a nice restaurant. Instead of us eating it there, we just go to the car while we're talking, we're eating. It was just so real. Like there was no trying to
It's
be
because by
uptight.
then we were not thinking about a relationship or
But for me,
marriage.
those were like good pointers because if you can be with somebody where you don't have to be uptight
Yeah,
and
where
trying
you can be
to just be
yourself.
yourself, don't
Yeah,
try to have this persona. When you're with that person, you'll be like, "Phew, finally I'm free." Like,
and there's this saying that people always say, marry your friend. It doesn't mean that you have to know a person for 10 years to be your friend. I think it's marry someone that can be your friend, someone that
you
you're
grow into
free
friendship
with, yeah,
together.
someone that the friendship can grow with. So when you have that friendship, even when you have misunderstandings, the friendship helps to
Yeah.
bring you together. You There are people who have dated for 10 years but have failed to be friends. So marry someone that can be your friend, not that the person should have been your friend for years, but the person can be your friend.
Yeah. So it was really cool. We were very honest with each other. We were very
Yeah,
open. I told her how much I was earning. She was very open with how much she was earning. You know, we practically just opened up to each other, and
from the time go.
from the time go. So there was no, let me use the word
There
we
was
use,
no
no over
reason to
packaging.
doubt. Yeah.
You understand? So we were just like cool with each other like that, and that was it. Then I think from there, remember the very first day she came to the office and she met a friend of mine that thought, this girl is nice. Then she went to the work site with me. Everybody, even who saw her with me for the first time, they're like, this girl is cool. You should actually, try to have something serious with her. So
Yeah.
even apart from me already getting my conviction, everybody around me saw the way we were. And they were like, "Oh, this girl is nice. Why don't you, already in my mind, I didn't want to tell them that I
So
already,
is that what made you think you were ready for marriage?
that was not what made me feel I was ready for marriage. What the point is that the friendship was so cool that even people around me could see that okay, you'll be very cool having this person around you for the rest of your life. So
Yeah.
even external people could see it. They were not trying to, and these people I'm talking about, they were part of the process of our life till now, and my friends and all that. So I think basically the long short of the story is the moral lesson is be don't be desperate. Don't try to make it happen yourself. When you meet somebody, try to be yourself. If you're in a relationship or you're in a talking stage with somebody and the person already makes you uncomfortable to the point where you're not yourself, that's already a red flag for
Yeah.
me. I don't know how other people see. So when you have to overly present a persona that is not you in a talking stage, that foundation is already shaky. And when you have to lie, you have to pretend, you have to look a certain way. For me, if you cannot be who you are in your bedroom with the person you want to spend your life with when you are in the public, for me, it's a red flag. And we
Yeah.
had that going for us. It was very cool. And
Yeah.
for me, that's a a short summary of how we met, and the rest is
Yeah.
history.
On my side, I think one of the lessons or the advice I would give a single lady out there is to what worked for me is I I had a notebook where I wrote down what exactly I wanted in a husband. And it was interesting that by the time I met him, I hadn't realized and I hadn't recognized that the things I had written that I wanted in a husband is what I got, you know, with a few missing pieces, but most of what I had written, like
There's always a
90%,
missing
is,
piece.
is, is what I got. And maybe if I had emphasized other things, like maybe
God will have worked on me to be complete.
yes. So what I did was get a notebook, pen, write. I wrote down the qualities I wanted in a husband, both physical, spiritual, emotional, everything. I wanted someone that is a worshiper. I wanted someone that could play instruments, and I realized that he could play instruments. I wanted someone that was equally yoked with me, and so much more. And after writing those things, I gave them to God in prayer and never prayed about it again. I was like, God, you know my heart's desires, you know what's best for me. Let it be in your will. And he did just that. And even when he kept mentioning to me that would be my husband, I needed the same God to speak to him. So I did not ever tell him about
Yeah, apparently. It was
what
after.
God had told me, because I didn't want him to feel like,
Oh,
oh,
she's
I'm one of
pushing
those
it.
church people who'll be like, God has told me this.
I
And
never
I
knew.
also wanted to be sure that it wasn't my carnality, you know, telling me all those things. So it was later when we got, I think, married, that I told him, actually, God had told me about you, and I told him the specific days, and we didn't know each other then. So yes, if God can do it for me, then he can definitely
Sure.
do it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us
Thank you.
on this on our
Candid
candid
conversation.
conversations. Be sure to get new videos every week. We'll be talking about our marriage journey. We'll be talking about life in general, and yeah, everything and and anything to do with life, marriage, finances, everything else, and God.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. See you
All right.
in
Bye, guys.
the next one.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.